lead recovery, and slicing the hand steep and deep on the entry to help your balance. Then, they gently restrict the wrist from moving past the elbow too early, or, as Ian shows, helping the elbow move forward a bit more. Working with a partner may be the best way to learn the entry timing in zipper switches. Your partner can see where your hand slices down and help achieve a cleaner, more vertical entry of the hand and forearm. Ian uses a light touch to help Joe lead with the elbow a bit longer. That helps Joe understand the feeling he should strive for. The greatest transfer of learning happens when they continue collaborating on multi-zipper switches in shallow water. A touch at the elbow or wrist is all it takes to make the entry while drilling exactly the same as it was while standing in place. Lesson 4 will guide you from fluent drilling to a beautiful new stroke. You'll also learn the best way to fit rhythmic and seamless breathing into your stroke. We'll begin our final lesson with a 3-stage drill that teaches you to balance with a minimum of kicking. This gives distance swimmers and triathletes significant energy savings. First, push off on your stomach, aiming to break out in balance with the back of your head, shoulder blades, and suit surfacing at the same time. Glide as far as you possibly can without kicking, until your legs drop or you stop traveling forward. Repeat until you can't go 1 inch farther. Next, push off and take 1 stroke to put yourself into the skating position. Again, no kicking. Focus on driving the other hand deep, to the same position you imprinted in the skating drill. Concentrate on driving your fingertips down. Change arms on the next push-off. Finally, add a zipper skate just after you break out. Again, glide as far as you can without kicking. Do you see how the weight of his zipper arm tips Joe into better balance? This practice should help you feel more balanced and stable than before. If you've got a partner, work with each other this way. Meet your partner right where he begins zipper skate and help him travel farther by towing. You'll feel amazingly effortless balance with this. When your timing and balance feel impeccable, then add a few switches, after pausing for the briefest moment to feel balance in zipper skate. Joe runs silent and deep here like a nuclear submarine. In our final drill, over switches, we'll take the hand out just barely and slip it right back in with hardly a ripple. Over switches imprint a more balanced and efficient entry. Here's a great example of imaginative, mindful rehearsal. While Joe is an elite swimmer, he still cares about getting the little details just right. In this case, to have a completely relaxed forearm enter the water with surgical skill. You can see how good he feels to get it right. Then he can return to practicing switches with a better sense of his entry. Toby, having just learned this drill, practices super slowly to allow herself time to think about each switch. Catherine, by practicing with fist gloves, achieves an extraordinary level of finesse. She cuts a hole with her knuckles just in front of her head and slips her whole arm cleanly through that hole. A good way to learn this efficient entry is with an exercise we call ear hops. As you see Terry doing here, try to hop your hand over your ear and drop it right back in. Your goal is to have your hand out of the water for the briefest possible time and to clear the water by the slightest margin. Feel your entry this way. Cut a hole in the water with your fingertips and slip your entire arm cleanly through that hole. Slice your hand in silently and drive it below your head. The more switches you can do before going to sweet spot, the more deeply you'll imprint this. After the entry comes the propulsive part of your stroke. Focus almost entirely on what happens in front of your shoulders. Propulsive force comes from the hand entering. To add power to your stroke, don't push back harder. Slice the other hand in with more energy. Then be patient on the catch. Try to trap a large volume of water inside your arm. Feel as if you're scooping pudding before you stroke. You can improve your feel for a solid catch with a stretch cord exercise. First, Terry helps Mark keep his elbow stationary as he presses his hand back. Then Mark continues on his own. Just rehearse the first few degrees of movement. When you get it right, you'll feel the muscles behind your shoulder being activated. When you really feel early pressure on your hand and forearm, take it to the water. Our final partnered exercise will help you catch all the water at the very beginning of your stroke. Hold your partner's feet for several strokes, allowing the legs to move naturally with body roll. After release, take 5 or 6 relaxed strokes to cultivate the same feeling of early pressure that you felt while being held back. This exercise can also improve your feel for how the kick helps trigger body roll, as each downbeat drives the opposite hip down and your opposite hand forward. Don't emphasize pushing back to your knee. Notice the C-shaped finish that allows the elbow to easily lift the hand from the water. The final skill is to fit seamless breathing into your core body rolling rhythm. Here's how you can do it.